the Milan Cathedral, the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Windsor Castle, St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna, Austria, the Cologne Cathedral, the Tower of London, and Edinburgh Castle. They all have one massive thing in common. What is it? All of these places having this one thing that shows that the mainstream history is not giving us the full picture, and it's not even close. Massive palaces all over the world, constructed with perfection, and not one of these structures was built with a toilet. We are told that humans could ride on their donkeys without a light bulb and without a road, and construct palaces in every single country. Yet they had to go to the bathroom in their yard and wipe with a leaf. No, we're living in the ruins of the previous civilization. A civilization that either didn't use toilets at all, or this group of people were so advanced that they used a form of plumbing and sanitation that is completely misunderstood to us today. A way to remove the waste so that it's not inside your house. It was repurposed by the people who came after. What was repurposed? Not the toilets, because they didn't have any. So many of these structures, in my opinion, are repurposed, and they now need a toilet. We have shown that by using the organ in these cathedrals, it resonates with the bones below the floors. We are told that humans built the Milan Cathedral but couldn't figure out how to manage human waste. We are told that they just put their waste in the streets. They tell us that they dumped it out of the windows with a bucket and wiping with their hand. This is the story. This doesn't translate to constructing perfect palaces with architectural designs that blow our minds today. Now, thinking logically, if you could build this, and this with perfection, zero mistakes, and they're still here today, then you would be able to design a sewer system that we use today. And we all know it. No running water, yet constructing granite with precision. If you don't have running water, it's incredibly dangerous for the entire population. You have filth everywhere, diseases, nobody is bathing. And according to the mainstream history, we are all told that ancient Rome, Greece, Mesopotamia, and the Indus Valley, they all had running water, public baths. The Romans supposedly had aqueducts, underground sewage. All of this over 2,000 years ago. This is what we are told. And then the year 500 hits. And that technology, it just vanishes. It's just gone. Nobody has running water anymore. No pipes and no baths. Just ragging themselves off over in the pond. And this carries all the way to the year 1800. I believe that this is the mainstream narrative, admitting that the previous civilization was here. In this timeline that they show us, they are admitting that plumbing, clean water, and bathing actually happened. And then something massive happened. The advanced civilization was gone. And the mainstream narrative calls them the ancients, the Roman Empire, when this was just the previous civilization. Because we didn't evolve and we didn't advance at all. We went backwards 100%. Something happened. We are told that plumbing just started back up in the 1840s. Again and again and again. In our timeline, over and over. You can go back to episode 10 and 38. We've been saying this for years. It doesn't matter what topic you bring up. Everything starts back up in the 17 or 1800s. You can look at any basic invention. The plane, the TV, the phone, the light bulb, the population data spikes. You can read the stories, and they will all tell you that they discovered sites in the 1800s. They never discovered this stuff before it. We've documented this hundreds of times now. Our civilization's timeline just started, and we are being given back the old world technology. There was a reset, and it's beyond obvious at this point, where some people still didn't have plumbing until the 1970s. So after all of this, the question remains, why were these massive palaces constructed all over the world, covered in gold, marble, and stained glass, built with perfect geometry, yet they didn't have a toilet? We are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 126 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Ever wonder why your brain feels foggy? Even when you're eating clean and exercising, it might not be burnout. It could be parasites. Groundbreaking research from Dr. Alan McDonald revealed a direct link between chronic parasitic infection and neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis. Parasites can cause inflammation, nerve damage, and long-term cognitive decline. This is more reason to do a full-body cleanse, at least once a year. And the Wellness Company has a solution for you. Ivermectin plus mebendazole, the gold standard parasite solution, now combined in a one-cleanse combo, designed to eliminate harmful invaders and support your immune system naturally. This is not some trendy herbal gimmick. This is medical grade. Fill out a quick intake form and get a 3-month supply shipped right to your door. Maha is officially here, and the Wellness Company is making hard-to-get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head to twc.health/MLB and use code MLB to save $60 off plus free shipping. Let's all cleanse our body today. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, David and Sherry Ferguson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Suez KC, Edwin Rice, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, PKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Robert Zolins, The Arnolds, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, EdgarT-shirts.com, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, Lena and Chris the IT guy, Michael Dingu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, C3SCOB, Jeffrey Temple, SoniaDane.com, James Alt, Bucksui, Jason Press, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, EvelynMcGregor.com, Diamond Jewel, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Ellie Annie, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Wayne T, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Blake, Rick Tapke, William Richard Jeffries V, Dax Bilchek and Son, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalacro, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Sven Eric, Janet Elizabeth Carey, Kitty Kitties, Making Eagles, GOL, I'm Patriot, Doc Halo, Kenneth Putt, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Henry's Mom, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Tim Skin, Rod Wah, Growl-Shaped Beacon, Sweetest of Peas, Corbin Mechanical, Buck, VKH Bonner, Breaking Bigfoot, Rydian and the Residuals, Road Warrior, Jimmy Jacobs, Bruce Latour, Anna Marley and Nunzio, Codrenth, David and Irene, Al Pisano, Ivan Apocalypse, Ardra Rogers, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Russian Madness, Seeking Jesus, When He Set a Compass Upon the Face of the Depth, Laurel L. Burnett, Ivan Apocalypse, Lucy, The Lady Lacey Show, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. So the question remains, why didn't these palaces have a toilet? You build this massive palace and you can't figure out how to put a toilet in? We all know that this is not what happened. We already know they were technologically capable of putting a toilet in if they wanted to. We can see what they created. These things are still here today. And if you've ever been inside one of these structures, you'll know that they weren't constructed for a simplistic, donkey-riding, reading by candlelight, hut-living society. The individuals who constructed these palaces were incredible and purposely left the toilets off the blueprints. And I believe they did this because we are not being told what the true purpose of these structures really are. I believe they've been completely hijacked, just like everything else has. I believe that their true purpose was actually to be an energy machine. They were not constructed for people to go hang out inside of for long periods of time. And I'm going to prove it right now. Gothic cathedrals are constructed with sacred geometry, constructed using the golden ratio, where we all know that the Notre Dame Cathedral incorporates this ratio all over it, including in its floor plan layout. The golden ratio represents a specific relationship where the sum of two quantities divided by the larger quantity equals the larger quantity divided by the smaller one. These cathedrals are also constructed using the Fibonacci spirals, as well as other geometry. These geometric designs, they are created for resonance. And this is where we go even deeper. The layout aligns with frequency harmonics, meaning that these structures were designed to conduct and amplify sound and energy. These structures were not constructed to just go sit inside of the way that we do today, and we are not being told their true purpose. So many cathedrals had massive pipe organs before electricity existed. Well, so we're told. Where so many times these organs were destroyed, renovated, or removed, including the Notre Dame Cathedral, where the grand organ has undergone multiple so-called reconstructions. Portions of the organ have been destroyed during the French Revolution. Another example of this is at the St. Paul's Cathedral, located in London, England, where the original organ was removed in the 1800s yet again, removing and reconfiguring the original pipes. Even in the Cologne Cathedral, Germany, where the organ was removed and lost. Give me a break. Doing this in the 1800s yet again, during a series of so-called restoration projects, where even the replacement was destroyed during World War II, which is crazy because the building survived and they made an agreement that you couldn't bomb it. So why was the organ being destroyed? And the further you go, the more you see how this happened everywhere. France, dismantling another organ. Spain, one was destroyed by fire, of course. And the Milan Cathedral, where it was home to one of the largest pipe organs in Italy. And over time, significant components were removed or downsized. I believe these structures didn't have plumbing because they were not places for people to stay for long periods of time. Were these places for people to go and heal, people to walk through? They would step in and get their frequency corrected, and then they would step out. It's all very interesting, especially when we see something shocking, and we take this even further, that the materials used for these structures, such as granite, limestone, and quartz, were used in the construction, and they were, as we have documented so many times, brought from far distances. Now, why would you do this? They would do this because they needed it to be perfect. And these materials are known for their piezoelectric and electromagnetic properties. When stimulated by sound or pressure, these materials can emit charge or affect energy fields. These places were not at all what we've all been told. And I'm not so sure we should be going in some of these today, since we all know they've been hijacked, they've been taken over, they've been repurposed, and we all know so many of them have a lot of bones underneath the floors, which we've also shown have piezoelectric properties. The same thing that these structures are built with. These structures are not constructed for somebody to stay in for long periods of time. I believe these structures were originally created to be a place to undergo a healing experience like we've never seen before. And today, the organs are gone. They're destroyed or renovated. They've been changed, possibly to frequencies that it was never meant to be. And now we stay in these places for a very long time. So long that we need to go to the bathroom. And then we come sit back down. I don't believe that that was ever supposed to be the case. Healing centers that have been altered. And this is documented like we have shown. Going even further, these stained glass windows also give off a frequency where light isn't just illumination. Red, blue, green, and violet light all impact the body in different electromagnetic ways. The stained glass, it filters sunlight through a very specific frequency, and the entire interior is filled with color therapy. What have we just found? Color therapy. We have been fully unaware of what these structures are for so long. It's time that this technology is brought back to the world. And it begins by asking questions exactly like we're doing here today. And we are just scratching the surface of what these structures really are. Not only do they look incredible, but now we know that they were created to be so much more. And they were clearly not created by someone with no training that went and slept in a barn on some hay. This is so much deeper, including the floor plans, where they mirror circuit boards. The layouts of many cathedrals, viewed from above, look like electronic circuits, repeating shapes, symmetrical nodes, long corridors, and circular capacitor like chambers, where even the stained glass windows, like we mentioned, resemble fractal energy patterns. Now let's go even further. What properties make up a circuit board? You need a central node. This is the power source or processor. Capacitors, coils. This is for holding or amplifying the energy. Corridors, connections, the linking functions, and fractal logic. So now let's take this and compare it to the old world cathedrals. Starting with the Chartres Cathedral in France, we are told it was constructed over 1,000 years ago. And when you take a look at the floor, you're gonna see that we are correct. These are identical. Not for decoration, this is a resonator, a giant 42-foot diameter frequency loop, an energetic circuit. Not only that, but it also has 34 total turns, which is of course a Fibonacci number, the same exact sequence used in resonant antenna design and harmonic frequency tuning. These were created for healing, and the old world would walk through a massive field of vibration, generating subtle bioelectric responses, exactly like a circuit completing its loop. This circuit board has a continuous spiral loop, which creates a path for current to flow in repeating isolations, and it of course produces or reacts to vibrational frequencies. So when they destroyed those organs in the 1800s, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were turning the machine off, and I believe we have just proved this. These were without a doubt not places to go and sit for long periods of time, which is exactly why those benches are not made of stone. They are made of wood, and they were put there by our civilization. I believe that these places, they were to get your mind, your body, and your inner self on the same frequency, the right frequency. And I believe this created a very powerful society. The exact thing this time period that we're all in does not want. This is all in my opinion, and I've said it before, every sign points to this being a little season. Deception, destruction of the past, wars and the rest. And before we go on, let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. And everybody who likes the episodes. You are all helping this channel so much. You are all incredible, and I'm very thankful for all of your support. We are growing to new people every single day. We are on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. 1775 Coffee just dropped their starter kit. So if you've been scared to commit, don't worry. It's not vegan, it's not woke, and it won't ask you for your pronouns. It's coffee. You already know we back it. Now here's your excuse to finally try it. You will be getting $200 worth of coffee and gear for just $99. That is a steal in a world where your local coffee shop charges $9 for disgusting burnt oat foam. And we all know that coffee prices continue to climb. You get 3 full-size bags of their best coffee, the Bold Dark Roast, Smooth Medium Roast, and their new anti-aging blend. Yes, Coffee that actually tastes good and age better. Exclusive merch. You get a matte black tumbler stamped with unapologetic freedom quotes. And you get a gold spoon that keeps your coffee sealed. You also get a branded frother that does exactly what it's told. All of it is single origin, small batch, mold-free, and toxin-free. And every bag is rated 85 plus on the cupping scale, which puts it among the top specialty coffees in the entire world. If you've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it, I'm gonna tell you what, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/lunchbreak and grab your starter kit before it's gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that not only tastes great, but actually backs what you believe. Go to 1775coffee.com/lunchbreak and grab your starter kit today. I believe we now know why there weren't toilets in the cathedrals. But what about the other buildings? Such as the Windsor Castle, the Tower of London, Edinburgh Castle, monumental places, and none of them were built with a toilet. Is it possible that the previous civilization, the one that was here before us, was clearly capable of things that would change their entire mindset, their vibration, their lives? What if it was just a very simple and logical explanation? What if they just had a much better way of going to the bathroom? What if this way of using the bathroom is completely degrading? What if it's incredibly primitive? What if we're right and the previous civilization didn't sit down on something that thousands of people have used before them? What if they didn't need to flush it through thousands of miles of pipes and hope that someone in a treatment plant can fix it? What if they didn't want to sit down on something that needed cleaning products that have a lot of chemicals in them? And do you understand what still water is? Still water is the water in the toilet bowl. It is water sitting stagnant. Did you know that still water is dangerous and it sits in every single one of our houses today? Why would an advanced civilization, a very powerful and extremely intelligent civilization, why would they have still water in a palace? In a palace that heals you, still water loses oxygen over time, which kills good microbes and allows for the bad ones to thrive. Still water becomes a breeding ground for E. coli, mold, and disease. And we all use this today. The amount that we are not taught is incredible. But once we see these facts, you will never question why a palace from the old world didn't have a toilet again. I'm 100% certain at this point that they didn't put a toilet in their palaces because they weren't capable. It was because they didn't want to. And they knew exactly what happens in still water. Yet this is so normal today. We think it's crazy that the old palaces don't have a toilet. Not anymore. An advanced civilization would never trap filth in water and keep it inside their buildings. They would eliminate the waste instantly. And this gets even more intense and exposes this once and for all. Still water becomes a breeding ground for deadly organisms. Within a few hours, it can start growing bacteria that can infect, poison, or even kill. Toilets are disgusting, and this is exactly why they didn't put them in their palaces. Have you heard of Legionnaire's disease? I'm gonna tell you what, if you didn't think we were in a little season before this, I'm gonna prove it right now. They've put a toilet in every single one of our houses. How many people here have a toilet that's in their house that they haven't flushed in a while? Let's keep going. Legionnaire's disease, over 73,480 illnesses annually from E. coli contaminating toilet water in the USA alone. So at this point, what do we all do right now to fix this? Because I don't want to freak you all out and ruin your day. What do? We're not all getting rid of our toilets right now. So how do we fix this? Step 1, before you flush the toilet, close the lid. Don't flush and let that water that's been sitting there for a while fly up into the air. Step 2, even if you don't use your toilets, flush them every single day at least once. Do not let them sit there. Step 3, you can take this even further and clean them. Take 1 cup of vinegar and a half a cup of baking soda, put it in the toilet, let it fizz and flush it. This kills the bacteria naturally without bleach. Step 4, do not put your toothbrush near the toilet, ever. And in all honesty, Do these things and you're going to be just fine. These people of the past, these people were incredibly intelligent as a society. There was not just one or two people here and there. They all worked together. They shared knowledge, and they were actually advanced. They were actually incredible. They were healthy, and they were constructing palaces that healed themselves. The previous civilization was incredible. And I believe that it's time that we take steps forward together. And we work together. We were never supposed to live like this. We were never supposed to flush filth into still water, breathe in toilet must, and call it progress. This is not evolution. This is regression. And I believe the craziest thing is that the toilets expose this. And once you understand that, you're gonna realize this isn't just about plumbing. This is about truth. It's about recognizing that in every single palace, every cathedral, every fortress built by the previous civilization was designed with something higher in mind, something clean, something powerful. These weren't monuments of control. They were machines that healed the body, balanced the mind, and aligned with your inner self. They flipped them upside down on us, turned off the power, and sat on them. Literally. The frequency was hijacked. The organs are silenced. The bells on top are gone. And the truth was buried underneath centuries of lies. But now, we're remembering not just what they built, but why they built it. And why the things that are missing were never meant to be there in the first place. Because no matter what anybody tells you, the proof is still standing. The missing toilets, the missing wires, the missing blueprints. But when you really step back and you think about it, nothing is missing at all. They left the truth right in front of us. They left it in stone, in glass, in sound, in color, in vibration. And it's all still here. We just had to ask the right questions. And now that we've asked these questions, we can go further and we will never unsee it.